I want to start with, and we got a bunch of different things we could talk about. I'm curious what you think about the new twist to overtime, because we saw it this weekend in the Giants-Cowboys game. We previously saw it in Super Bowl 58, where now that there are guaranteed possessions, even if the team that receives the opening kick to overtime scores a touchdown, the best strategy for proceeding when you win the toss, do you kick or do you receive? Do you have any thoughts on what you believe the best strategy would be generally, or is it just another one of those game-by-game, gut feeling, based on how things are going, you'd make a decision in the moment?
Well, you certainly make a decision in the moment, but I would definitely say the general way to think about it is you don't want the ball first. You want it last. Now, there's a subtle difference between the high school and college overtimes where you always want the ball last to see what you need. Do you remember the overtimes? I think they've since changed, but they used to be you get the ball on the 25-yard line. You wanted to play defense first, right, to see what you needed, okay? We hold them to a field goal. Hey, we need a field goal to tie, touchdown to win, or, we hold them to nothing. All we need is a field goal. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. So I think there's an analogy there, but you've made the point about the third possession that I think is real. I think the overriding thing is you want to play defense first. You want to see what you need. You want to see if you need to go for it on 4 downs, all of those kinds of things. But there is that third possession, and that's what differentiates this from the older college overtime rules. But I definitely think you put it all together, your general framework is we want the ball second.
The one big factor in regular season overtime is that there's only 10 minutes. Unlike the postseason, where you're going to get your second possession regardless of how much time the team that has the first possession bleeds off the clock. Because Chris and I were talking about it yesterday. It's like, in theory, you could go into tortoise mode and chew 7-8 minutes off the clock and put the team that gets the ball second in a real pinch to try to force a tie, or if they score a touchdown and go for 2, a win. That's one factor that I think is fundamentally different if we're only going to do a 10-minute overtime in the regular season.
Yeah, we had a game when I was coaching in Dallas against Philadelphia. It was at AT&T Stadium, and we went to overtime. And we got the ball first, and it was one of those games where we had a big offensive day. I think Amari Cooper had over 200 yards receiving, and we really ran it well. And we possessed the ball. I think we had it a 7-minute drive, and we got down in there close, maybe inside the 15-yard line, and we had a 4th and 1. And Mike, literally, we were running our 100th play on the 4th and 1, which is a lot of plays in a football game. These days, you're getting 60, 65, 70 is a good number. And so we had dominated. We obviously had the extra quarter, but we had controlled the line of scrimmage, and we had a 4th and 1, and it was a big decision for all the reasons we're talking about. Let's call it, there was 7.5-minute drive that we had, so there's 2.5 minutes to go. What do you do there? Do you go for it and try to end it right there? Again, these were the old overtime rules where you could end it with a first drive touchdown. And so we eventually went for it and we scored a touchdown. But that's what rattles into your mind that, okay, how much can we bleed this? If we kick a field goal, they can come back. Will we have time to come back? All of that. So the 10-minute aspect of the overtime certainly is an added element that differentiates it, again, from the college thing. Having said all of that, in this day and age, I think you want to be second. I still think you want to know what you need and do we need to go for it on 4th down and all of that stuff. So those other factors are real, but I definitely, in general, would say, hey, let's kick it and let's go on offense second. I think that gives you the most advantages.
And we're going to see it more and more. It's kind of surprising. We've only had one overtime game in the first 2 weeks of the season. As we know, they will happen over and over again, and we'll see more data points, more examples, more nuances. The theoretical becomes practical as we see these games play out. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.